Good morning. I'm Samantha Foster, and I am one of the founders of Venus Mastermind, along with my daughter, Kyra Moriarty. And today I want to talk a little bit about defining your purpose and what that really means. And coming from a background of really pleasing others and living her life for other people and not herself, it was quite the journey to manifest not just my own world, but really learn what a purpose is and what a purpose for anybody could be. I think there's some wrong terminology or definitions, if you will, that goes along with defining your purpose, and we make it way more complicated than what it is. A purpose is something that you get to choose personally for yourself. And when you choose it from a place of self-empowerment, it flows with your energy. It gets you excited. It is something that you grab onto, and despite what you may have to do to accomplish things or go through to make that purpose fulfilled, you're happy to do that. So if you're somewhere in your life and you're not feeling good, you're not liking maybe the job where you're at, you're not liking your career, you just in general, there's something in your life that you're not satisfied with, then you're not living really in your self-empowerment. And it's really difficult to define your purpose from when you're not living in your self-empowerment. My suggestion is before you start defining your purpose, start finding your way to your self-empowerment. That's where the real healing begins. All of these things are true, but if you get the cart before the horse, it's really difficult to activate and live in your self-empowerment or live with your purpose or in your purpose to fulfill that. First, there's a healing. And what does healing really mean? Is it a 6-month, 7-month long project? I don't know. It's different for everybody, and it looks a little bit different for everybody. However, what I do know is that you don't have to go meditate on top of a mountain for 6 months. Healing really is about just transitioning your energy from a lower vibration to a higher vibration. And that doesn't mean that you have to go and do some religious activity or meditate on top of a mountain. It just means that you recognize something that's negative in your life and you choose something different. It means that when you feel triggered by something, sit with that trigger, honor that trigger. What does honoring mean? Not fighting against it. That's what it means. Go with it. Don't fight against it. And the more that you resist that trigger and not move with that emotion, the more amplified it comes into your life. So getting back to a little bit of defining your purpose, it is whatever you want to do when you're sitting within your own self-empowerment, within your own personal development. And your purpose can change from one event life to the next event life. My purpose when I was 20 is definitely not my purpose now that I'm older, more mature. Completely different purpose. My desires are not even the same. And it's okay to have desires. And it's okay to want things, but want it in a really good way. And we'll get more into that as I'm making more and more of these videos to share with you. If you want to see right now what your purpose is and what you really value as a person, sit down today with a pen and paper and write out what you do every day, no matter what. Is it brushing your teeth, taking a shower, feeding your kids, taking care of your kids, taking care of your family? Is it going to a job? And why do you do that every day? And start writing down what's important to you to do every single day. An example could be somebody who cold plunges every day. I certainly have no desire to do that. I'm not doing that. But why do they cold plunge? What is it that they're getting out of that really brings value to their life? And they cold plunge no matter what. So that's how you can identify your sets of values that help you right now where you stand without doing any healing, any coaching, anything different. You'll understand what you value and what your purpose is as of today. It's just that easy. People overcomplicate it and think that you need to meditate or do some type of ritual to get into your purpose or identify your purpose. It's not this difficult. And again, as you grow and you mature and you do self-development and you heal, your purpose is going to change. And that's okay. Why not? We're here to experience life. And I know for the rest of my life, I want to experience it going with the flow of my true nature. And that took some work, not dreadful work by any means. And I had some amazing moments during that work that I did. I myself used neurolinguistics programming and hypnotherapy and even EMDR with my coach, my mentor, changed my life. So my purpose today is much different than what it looked even 5 years ago or 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So don't get hung up on the details and don't get hung up on the details of what it looks like today. Just understand where you stand and understand that your everyday, daily activities and actions are going to give you clues to what your purpose is today and what you value today. And maybe you want to change some of those values. Some of those values don't work for you anymore. Our values change as we grow, as we mature, as we learn and understand and come into that wisdom. I also do astrology, not just coaching, not just neurolinguistics programming, not just hypnotherapy. I also do astrology. My astrology readings and how I identify with astrology and how I use it with my clients has also changed. Very empowering. I love having all these tools that I learned in the last 5, 10 years as I've grown and matured and also healed from my own childhood experiences. And so can you. So today I encourage you, just write down what you do every day and identify some of those activities that you do without fail. This is what you do. This is how you do it every day, no matter what. And it doesn't matter where you're at today. It doesn't matter what age you are today. If you want to start shifting some of those values, if you want to feel more self-empowerment, which looks, by the way, completely different than what the internet has ever told you. Our purpose, our values do define our purpose, by the way. Start identifying those values. Write them down. And as you identify what values maybe you want to shift around, they're all important, but maybe one value needs to be shifted to number 1 spot instead of number 2 spot. Start looking at that, thinking on it. What resonates with you? What makes you feel good? What else do I want to cover today? I do want to mention, try to be the best that you can aware of when you're living somebody else's purpose. This is where coaching and having a mentor comes in handy. When we learn that some of the values that we've been living by, even though it doesn't feel good, that's what we were taught. So don't forget to put the why that's a value. Why is it important to you? Is it because that's what I grew up with? That's what my mother told me. That's what my mentors told me. The authorities told me that needs to be the value. That's what I need to live by. Start identifying that. That could be absolutely life-changing. That may not be your value at all. Take some time. Write those down. When you're living or doing an action that is not bringing you energy, it's not energizing you, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't flow with your energy, you feel like you're swimming upstream, understand it's because you're living somebody else's opinion. You're living somebody else's purpose. You're living somebody else's values. It doesn't mean that immediately that you need to go change your whole life, but just by identifying it and start working from there can make such a big difference in your life. The energy will already start to shift. Tomorrow, I'm going to get a little bit more on self-empowerment. What does it involve? What does it look like? I think this is really important. Drop your comments. Drop your questions. Maybe you want me to elaborate on something a little bit more. Put it in the comments below. and have a beautiful and blessed day.